Violent Night. Holy crap, what a ride that was for a film. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to my review of Violent Night, starring David Harbour as a cynical Santa who's kind of at his wit's end with doing his job. It just feels like kids are just too goddamn needy and greedy and all this kind of stuff, so you get this kind of drunken, fed up, just whatever, going about his day, doing his job. And there were no spoilers. This will be a spoiler-free review, just so that people can get an idea of whether to see this or not. Spoiler alert in this regard, yes. So, if you've seen the trailers, you kind of get the premise of it. It's very much Die Hard, starring Santa Claus. Rich, wealthy family gathered together for Christmas, and a group of bad guys kind of take them hostage in the house to get the money that's in the vault. Santa Claus is, of course, visiting that house just as this kind of happens, so the circumstances are very fortuitous. Violent hilarity ensues, even though Santa is kind of reluctant to get involved. He just wants to get the reindeer and get out, but he gets caught up in the middle of it. Obviously, otherwise the film would be over. And what we get is a film which is one of the funniest films I've seen in years, but also very frustrating at the same time. So, the violence is better than you expect. It is hilarious. It is brilliantly done. The David Harbour is perfection as Santa Claus. And the villains, I mean, I love John Leguizamo. Huge fan of his. Always have been. And the villains hamming it up a little bit in this is excusable. And I thought they were just hilariously over the top. Some of them. That being said, the big negatives of this film is the pacing is really bad. You get this fantastic, first 20 minutes to half an hour, 25 minutes around there, and then this whole middle bit of just talking and exposition and people that have things that fucking for some reason fit into the situation that's going on in terms of their attitude and of who they are tied to Christmas. It's all very coincidental. A lot of the script is very coincidental. And you have the kid in there, and the kid is kind of like the linchpin that keeps Santa from running away from this house. So as a plot device, the kid is fine, but her and Santa talk way too bloody much in this film. You didn't need it. That whole bit with her and him and all the family dynamic should have been about 10, 12 minutes of the film, and the rest should have just been the balls to the wall, crazy violent action. Even when other things unfold with other people getting involved with violence and all of that, even that was just they could have built up more on that rather than the amount of talking. Like, nobody's gonna watch this film giving a shit about family feuds and cheesy good dads and cute little daughters. We're not here to watch that. We're here to see Santa kick ass. So if I was the makers of this film, before releasing this on digital, go back to the editing floor, release a director's cut where there's more violence, if they've shot more violence, and don't release this version on digital, because it stops it from being one of the best Christmas films you will ever see. I'm very serious. It really frustrated me how just when things get going, it slows back down to Santa and the kid, and then the little family bits and all. Nobody cares about this stuff. So please go back, re-edit, take all that stuff out, put more violence in, and re-release it, and it would be literally one of the best Christmas films you've ever seen. Now, this is my opinion. Other people might watch this and be okay with all of that and just think this is one of the best Christmas films ever made. But for me, just the pacing stops it from being perfection. It was a really good film. I laughed my ass off. I laughed like so much that my ribs hurt because, like, you know, violence is just hilarious, especially when it's done for comedic effect. Even stuff involving the kid I thought was brilliant. So yeah, well, that's pretty much it, really. I mean, I want to see more. Make a sequel, please. I do think this is going to be a cult classic, regardless of the middle bits, because the violence is enough to kind of push it over the edge for it to be a cult classic. But a re-edited version would be fantastic. Who knows, when I get the film myself, I'll probably do it just for my own personal pleasure. Re-edit it to how I want it to be. I know, sounds arrogant, but screw you. I have the technology and the know-how. I could do it. Click button, cut, stick, done. Yeah, I'm a genius. Anyway, final thoughts. I'd give this film I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Arbor, the violence, fantastic. The family stuff and the talking with Santa and the kid, far too long. Get rid of all of that. That is all. Let normality resume. Bye. Ho.